Today on Squally Heifer Adventures, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to do a sewn whiplock to terminate the ends of your rope. It actually makes it a very beautiful termination, and it's a professional look. It also protects the end of the rope and keeps it from fraying out. This particular rope is a cheap rope, and it's a 1/4 inch. It's a double braid, and you'll notice that I have it with a brown thread. On this one here, this is a New England rope I've done it with a black thread on it, and that one looks good too. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take it, and for our purpose we got a 1/2 inch rope here, and we got some construction line, and what we're going to do is that way we can actually see what's going on. It's a nice good color contrast here. So on the end of the rope, it's actually going to fray out on you, and what we want to do is we want to give it a good termination. That termination is going to be depending on what you want. So if you have your rope, you need to cut it to whatever you have. I would always say get yourself a good pair of scissors. You can use a knife and a rigging knife and sit there and cut into your rope. I do like my knives, but when it comes to actually rope termination, a good pair of scissors works very good. So if you were going to take it and then you were going to cut, so let's just see here how well a good pair of scissors work. Look at that. Real fast, nice good pair. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get thread, and here's actually my whipping thread. This is all wax thread, but it's actually going to be a little too small to see what's going on. So you pick the colors that you like. They have different colors. They have it in Dyneema too. But right now, like I said, we're going to use some construction thread just so we can see what's happening. So what you want is, this is a 1/2 inch line. So on a 1/2 inch line, you're going to want at least a 1/2 inch of a thread for your whipping. So this is approximately what we're going to do. We know that our whipping wants to stop right here. So what we'll do is we will start our whipping down here on the bottom. So thread your line, put it into the rope, and you want it to go halfway through, all the way. Don't be off centered as much as you can. Make it go. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this through on about 3 feet of line. Now, tape's coming off there. That's alright, we can fix that. What I do is I pull this through, and I'm going to leave this tag end sticking up. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually sew this back and forth, back on each side, and we're going to work our way up and lock it into place. So here we are on the back side. We're going to go ahead and push it through to the front. There we go. Now, you want to actually cross this thread as you're sewing it. You want to put tension on it each time. Let's do it one more time here. Let's bring it up. So we came up on the left side, we're going to cross it to the right side, we're going to push it in, and what we're doing is we are locking this in place. Thread came out of the needle there, so we're going to have to rethread this. So you'll notice we've come all the way across, we've sewn that in, and we've locked this down. Now look at this, guys. You can sit here and you can pull on it. We have locked that thread into place. It's not going anywhere. So just take the excess that you have right there, cut it off. We don't need that anymore. And what we're going to do is, since this is locked in, we're going to start our whip right here on the top, and we're going to bring it around, and we're going to come all the way down over that sewn tag end that we started with, as tight as you can, and wrap it around. Doing it nice and tight, and you're going to go all the way through that bottom portion that we had started with. There we go. Now, nice and tight. We're going to take our thread, go all the way up to as close as you can to the bottom, and you're going to shoot it all the way through. Make sure you're evenly on the rope to the other side and pull it through. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come up and over, up and over. We're going to do this 2 times. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to sew this in on both sides. There's once on one side. We're going to bring it down to where we came in. We're going to start at that same hole, work our way across. If it gets too tight for you, get yourself a pair of pliers, pull it through. Alright, that's once. Let's go ahead on here. Let's do it twice. We go ahead and bring it down. Out. That side's tight. There we go. So we've got 2 sides here. We've got 2 sides here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lock it into place. You're going to take your needle and you're going to run it underneath the top part. We're going to do a half hitch, run it through, and then you're going to pull it down and lock it down on the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to push it through, we're going to lock it through on the other side. Right on the same one. We're going to come back through. There we go. Now, we did 1 lock on this side. Now we're going to do our 2nd lock on this side. So push it through underneath. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a half inch lock, half hitch, and lock it down. Pull a little tight there. Now, we don't want to just cut this line because then it can actually have a chance to unravel itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in right here at this point, and we're going to go at a 45-degree angle. And what we're going to do is we're going to bury this inside the rope. Alright, so at a 45 degree, see how we're doing that? You're going to push that through and pull it all the way. And what you're going to do is you're going to come back here, right where it comes out. You want to put the needle right at that same hole where it comes out and go out another 45 degree back to the original front. Let's go ahead and pull that through. And let's do that another time. Again, right where it comes out of the rope, put that in at a 45 degree. It's a little tight here. And we'll pull that through. Now, we've got a, nope, let's do one more. I want to do at least a needle's length. So we'll go ahead and go one more. Then on this last one here, we will have a needle's length down. So we have plenty of room. There we go. Go ahead and work that out. Now on our last one, I'll usually take it and I won't go at a 45, I'll go a little bit more than a 45 because I want to get some extra length in it. Because what I'm going to do is we're going to pull that through. Then we're going to give it a little tug. We're going to cut it. And what happens is when we open this up, that's actually going to get milked up into that line. There we go. Let's work it out. Make sure it's nice and limber because we got all that whipping thread up in there. So now, that is a sewn whiplock. Now if you take the tape off, this here can ravel itself out. No matter what happens, it will not come through the sewn whiplock there. Okay, so just to recap, start on the bottom. You actually take the measurement of what you want. So put your tag end up, sew it back and forth, start at the top, wrap all the way down, go around twice, lock it off, and then bury the rest of your line. And that's it right there. A sewn whiplock. You can use it on any line there is. And we did it on some 1/2-inch solid braid here with construction twine just for demonstration purposes. So hopefully you guys can see that right there. But that's a sewn whiplock, and you can use it on all of your sailing lines like this, and it gives a nice beautiful end to it. Again, different colors as you're going to need, and then that'll be the same whiplock that you'll use even if you have a splice and you have a splice going on. You can use that same whiplock to lock it all into place there. So it doesn't matter what line you're using, or if you're using it for line termination or a splice, sewn whiplocking will give you a much better usage of all your rope. So if you made it this far, like, subscribe, and we'll have more rope tutorials to come in the future.